What is the value of the expression 4 squared minus 13 divided by 2 multiplied by 5? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? This expression is so tricky that many people end up with the wrong answer. Let's go step by step and solve it together. To solve this question, many people start by calculating 4 squared first, and instead of the original expression, they rewrite it as 16 minus 13 divided by 2 multiplied by 5. And the next step, they usually perform the subtraction between 16 and 13 and simplify this expression to 3 divided by 2 multiplied by 5. Then they proceed by doing the division between 3 and 2, which gives them 1.5 multiplied by 5. And finally, they multiply 1.5 by 5, which ends up with the answer 7.5. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option B is the correct answer to this question. But I have to say we were tricked, and it's not the correct answer to this question. Also, some other people when solving this question first go for the expression 4 squared, and they simplify to 16 minus 13 divided by 2 multiplied by 5. And the next step, they usually go for the multiplication between 2 and 5 because they think multiplication has priority over division. So, they rewrite this expression as 16 minus 13 divided by 10. Next, they perform the division between 13 and 10 since they believe division has priority over subtraction. And they rewrite this expression as 16 minus 1.3. which ultimately gives them the answer 14.7. And immediately, they conclude that option D is the correct answer to this question. However, this answer is absolutely wrong. Alright, now let me show you how to solve this expression correctly. To solve this question, we must follow a rule that is called PEMDAS. We have to follow the order of operations I told you, step by step from top to bottom. Okay, as you can see in the image and this expression, first we have an exponent, then a subtraction sign, followed by a division, and finally a multiplication. We should start with the exponent, because in this expression, exponent has a higher priority than the other operation. So, this expression simplified to 16 minus 13 divided by 2 multiplied by 5. And the next step, we need to handle the division and multiplication, since multiplication and division have higher priority than subtraction. However, it's really important to understand that multiplication and division have exactly the same level of priority. In this situation, the best thing to do is to start from the left side of the expression and move toward the right, performing division and multiplication in order. So, first we perform the division between 13 and 2. And this expression simplified to 16 minus 6.5 multiplied by 5. And the final step, we do the multiplication between 6.5 and 5, which gives us 16 minus 32.5. And finally, the value of this expression is equal to negative 16.5. That's great. Option A is the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let's solve another tricky math question together. What is the value of the expression 17 minus 5 multiplied by open parenthesis 6 minus 1 close parenthesis? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? Let's take a closer look and solve it together. And the first step, most people perform the subtraction between 17 and 5, which I have highlighted in blue. So, this expression simplified to 12 multiplied by 6 minus 1 inside the parentheses. And the next step, they calculate 6 minus 1 inside the parentheses, which becomes 12 multiplied by 5. And finally, the value of this expression must be equal to 60. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option D is the correct answer to this question. However, that's definitely wrong. Alright, now let me walk you through a step by step how to solve this expression properly. To solve this question, we must follow a rule that is called PEMDAS. PEMDAS shows us the priority of the order of operations. Okay, as you can see in the image and this expression, first we have a subtraction sign, then a multiplication sign, and finally parentheses. We must start with the parentheses first because they have a higher priority than the other operation. So, we can write this equation as 17 minus 5 multiplied by 5. And the next step, we move on to the multiplication between 5 and 5 because multiplication has a higher priority than subtraction. So, we rewrite this equation as 17 minus 25, which finally gives us the answer -8. Therefore, option A is the correct answer to this question.